And that's where we expect Jesus to return. That's where we expect the final events to play out. So, if our thesis is right, if this final pope is the biblical false prophet, if that hypothesis is correct, we would expect him to have a seat in Jerusalem. Well, in February of 2013, the internet was ablaze with the announcement that they had resolved that negotiation and that the Hall of the Last Supper in the building called the Cenacle on Mount Zion was going to be given over to the sovereignty of the papacy.
Wow. This new pope, a very unusual man from Argentina, you predicted that he would come, or would probably come, of Italian descent. Comes from Argentina, of Italian descent. These things are very meaningful. And by the way, Pope Francis I is the answer to the media's dream. Because, this man is photogenic, he is likable, lovable, took the name Francis. It's an astonishing PR coup in one way, but it's something else too, right?
Yeah, it was actually a greater fulfillment, if you will, of the final line in the prophecy of the popes than we could have even hoped for. You remember last year we did a show with you in which I said that the new pope does not need to be named Peter. All he needs is to be of Italian descent in order to be a fulfillment of the final line, Petrus Romanus. And of course, George Bergoglio, who's taken the name Pope Francis I, is of Italian descent. Both his mother and his father were Italian, so he's of Roman descent, fulfills the line Petrus Romanus. But it gets even better, naming himself after Francis of Assisi. Francis of Assisi's original name was Francesco di Pietro, or Peter di Bernardone, a person who was an Italian.
Wow.
He was a Roman, and his name can literally be translated Peter the Roman. So he names himself after him. Secondly, and this really blows me away, that I know that Bergoglio knows this. He's a very educated man. He's a Jesuit, right? He's got degrees both in theology and science. Well, Francis of Assisi is the guy who